Vietnam. So I was replaced as the advance party commander, but it was so late in the advance movement that all my gear went to Fort Riley, Kansas, and I went to Fort Bragg, North Carolina to Special Warfare School. After completing special warfare training for becoming an advisor in Vietnam, somehow they picked this West Texas guy with a nice Texas drawl, or who knows what and why, and sent me to El Paso, Texas to the Defense Language Institute for Vietnamese language training for 2 months, which helped and did. I learned some, but I didn't learn a lot. The joke around the school was, okay, when we get there, if the bar girls are not speaking English, we'll be learning Vietnamese. That's not quite the way it worked out. So anyway, I was sent on to Vietnam. Was in country on the 4th of August, 1968, and went through the usual advisor 3 or 4 day process that they run us through up at Saigon at the headquarters at MACB, and then shipped out to the Mekong Delta to a place called Binh Tre. And Binh Tre City is in Kim Hoa province. While we were at the MATA school at Fort Bragg, during TET, there was a newscast with this guy standing out, an Army major standing out on the road with the TV running, and he said, we had to destroy the town to save it. Well, that sounded kind of funny to me in Fort Bragg, but when I got to Kim Hoa, I found out that the road that he was speaking from was the road that led from the airport into Kim Hoa to Binh Tre City proper. And all it was along a canal where the road paralleled it. When Vietnamese operator, it's mobile down there mainly by boat, watercraft. So they build their houses and stuff along waterways, so they've got transportation. And what had happened is the VC had got between the airfield and Binh Tre, and they had wiped out this area in there where the VC are infiltrated along this waterway, along this road. Binh Tre was not destroyed to save it. They just killed the VC out on the edge of Binh Tre. So that was the first experience that I had in my actual AO assignment, was remembering what I'd seen on the TV and saying, well, that doesn't look like they destroyed the town to me, it's still here. I was then sent for orientation training to a relatively pacified and functioning district team, pacified district and a good functioning district team commanded by a very good major, so I could get oriented and see, observe before going into the area that I was assigned to. I spent 2 weeks up there, and the very first mission that we went on, we were out walking through some date palm areas and got a little sniper fire, so that was the first that I'd actually been in the vicinity. It was not aimed at me, I'm pretty sure. But on the way back, we loaded up the trucks, and on the way back to the district headquarters, we were hit with what we termed, or what's normally termed, a long-range pot shot ambush. It's just a guy's way off away from you, and he takes a shot at it. Now, the truck that I was riding in was in the front seat on the left side. The round went right back behind my head in the post of the truck that holds the canopy. So when I heard that and saw what that looked like, that told me that this is serious business. This is not a game. We're here to kill or be killed. And that was a good experience to have that happen that soon on my tour, because that was the very first combat operation that I had went out on with the other team members. The training and the orientation then moved down to the headquarters, province headquarters. When I was being counseled, I guess you'd call it, by the colonel, I remember his words very clearly. Captain, we're going to send you down to Tom Food. Things are a little messed up down there right now. Try not to lose any more territory. And remember, when planning and working an operation, what you take into the operation is what you're going to have to do, because we don't have anything to come help you with. My AO, Tom Food District, was one of 9 districts in Kinloch Province. And on the priority scale of priorities for men, equipment, supplies, we were number 9. The VC controlled 3/4 of the territory, but the GVN had most of the population at that time, at least 50% of the population. And the game in Vietnam was to secure the area, provide Hammond security for the people to conduct their business affairs and go on with their life. So if you could provide security, they would generally favor the GVN. But in this particular situation in Tom Food, we didn't have the troops. We couldn't cover the ground. We had one RF company with about 115 men, but you never had more than 85 or 90 for duty. We had, at the time I signed in, 9 PF platoons. That's all we had. And a PF platoon and a RF company are not offensive military formations. They are primarily defensive formations for the area in which they're deployed. PFs in the hamlets and the RFs are mobile, but they are not a offensive attack type force. The biggest change that I recall happened on November the 5th when a district chief was changed. We had an acting district chief that seemed to me had made his deals with the VC, and so we didn't go past a certain area, and the VC didn't seem to respect that because they kept shooting stuff up in here into Tom Food. The district town is named Tom Food also, so Tom Food Village district town was within VC mortar range. The VC also controlled the major waterways, which I remember I said that the main commerce is done on the rivers and the waterways down there. So the whole program and the process was to try to control the VC movement and get them out of the area and open the waterways so that the Vietnamese commerce and the ordinary rice farmers, this is a big rice producing area. Kinloch Province has over 500,000 people in it. It is a major rice producing area. That means it's a very strong VC supply area because they come through and they tax the farmers. And I've heard tales from the farmers that the VC would tax them up to as much as 60% of the crop. So if we could knock off a VC tax man or get a tax point knocked out, that made us good friends with folks that were in that hamlet in